The most disappointing season for the TV show Community stood out for all the wrong reasons, yet it ultimately enhanced the series in a positive way. And with each episode, the characters navigated a fresh side splitting challenge on their path to earn degrees from community college. Characters like Abed Nadir, the eccentric TV and film enthusiast, is buddy Troy Barnes, the former high school quarterback activist, Britta Perry, Gillian Jacobs, Annie Edison, a studious type who once struggled with Adderall addiction, Alison Brie, Shirley Bennett, a mother of one, and Jeff Winger, a deceitful lawyer, Joel McHale, were all part of this intriguing group. It was clear which season of Community was the most disappointing, yet even those less than stellar episodes didn't drag down the series overall. Intriguingly, some of these moments may be revisited in the upcoming Community movie. Community Season 4 was a disaster. What went wrong, everything can be blamed on Greendale's gas leak. The fourth season of Community, often referred to as its gas leak year, is universally considered the weakest of the series. This was due to a combination of factors, both on screen and behind the scenes. The production of Community Season 4 was particularly chaotic. A significant contributor to the show's success has been creator Dan Harmon. However, at the end of Season 3, Harmon was removed as the showrunner in an effort to shake things up, and he was replaced by David Guariccio and Moses. Even though Guariccio and Port have their unique skills, they weren't suitable for the show. Regrettably, Harmon was brought back for Season 5 but by then, the impact had already taken its toll. The stories presented in Season 4 were daring and distinct from previous episodes, yet the execution left much to be desired, and some failed to connect with viewers. Instead of saying, like, for example, the return of Community's darkest timeline should have been an exciting moment, but the storyline was dragged out. You could rephrase it as the resurrection of Community's most ominous timeline had great potential for excitement, but the narrative became protracted. In the second part, instead of saying by the time Season 4 was finished with the darkest timeline, it didn't hold the same weight as it did before. They could rephrase it as after Season 4 concluded its exploration of the darkest timeline, it failed to carry the same impact as initially. For while the original episode was a part of Abed's story arc, by the end, it didn't feel relevant to any of the characters. You could rephrase it as measure the summer of this country. And although the initial episode played a role in Abed's narrative, by the finale, it seemed disconnected from the and finally, instead of same attempts to replicate Community's glory days in Season 4 also didn't work out. You could rephrase it as further efforts to emulate Community's golden age during Season 4 also fell flat. The resurrection of Community's most ominous timeline had great potential for excitement, but the narrative became protracted after Season 4 concluded its exploration of the darkest timeline, failing to carry the same impact as initially. Although the initial episode played a role in Abed's narrative, by the finale, it seemed disconnected from the other characters. Um, Further efforts to emulate Community's golden age during season 4 also fell flat. The episode titled Intro to Felt Surrogacy about a musical puppet seems intriguing theoretically, but in reality, it lacks coherence, and using puppets feels more like an overused trick than a fresh idea. On the other hand, the episode named Advanced Documentary Filmmaking, which is presented through Abed's filmmaking, does not live up to the hilarity and captivation of the Russo brothers' directed intermediate documentary filmmaking from season 2. The puppet episode titled Intro to Felt Surrogacy seems cool on paper, but doesn't make much sense. And using puppets feels repetitive instead of innovative. Another episode called Advanced Documentary Filmmaking is presented through Abed's filmmaking style, but unlike the hilarious and engaging intermediate documentary filmmaking directed by the Russo brothers in season 2, it isn't as amusing or captivating. Community season 4's problems led to some hilarious backtracking in season 5. And Community pushed the gas leak year events under the rug. In light of how significantly season 4 affected us all, it came as no shock when we, within the community, slipped in a meta joke about the gas leak in season 5. Instead of invalidating or rewriting any of the events from season 4, the series opted to create an intriguing narrative where a gas leak at Greendale University served as a explanation for the unusual behavior exhibited by all characters, that this implied that we should view those past occurrences with a grain of salt. In my humble opinion, while some aspects of Community's 4th season left me slightly underwhelmed, there were certainly moments worth appreciating. For instance, Britta and Troy, who realized their relationship wasn't meant to be, have managed to maintain a strong friendship post-breakup. Moreover, the show made a comeback by inviting Brie Larson back as Rachel from Her Story of Dance. And most delightfully, Abed found himself in a more substantial romantic storyline, as opposed to his usual fleeting bursts of compatibility with unseen women. As Britta so aptly put it, Community Season 4 was so bad, it forced the show to reinvent itself. Sometimes things have to get worse before they get better, despite the setback caused by the gas leak incident in the 4th season. There were some silver linings for the TV series Community. The following season saw a drop in audience interest, and several actors departed from the show during season 5. However, Dan Harmon's return proved instrumental in salvaging the situation. Although seasons 5 and 6 didn't enjoy the same popularity as the show's peak period, they provided a comforting sense of continuity that was conspicuously absent in season 4. In Community's 5th season, John Oliver reappears as Ian Duncan, and Jonathan Banks debuts as Buzz Hickey, joining the main cast as part of the Greendale Committee. The narrative strays from the absurdity of previous seasons and returns to a more straightforward era. The overall mood is lighter compared to the pessimism in season 4. And there's a welcome focus on character development for all members. Despite Community's 4th season being less favorable, it seems the missteps made ultimately improved the show moving forward.